We are out of the office and off the clock, but here to bring you the latest with Workforce Solutions Borderplex and the many ways to bring your career dreams to life.
That's right, we're always clocking in and out, but almost always running through things. And yes, career dreams and the level up is one thing that we do here. But did you know our biggest customers are actually businesses? Our business services unit, aka BSU, shout out to them, is a talent recruiting army just for employers.
Think of them as a human resources extension, cost-free, that connects businesses to the best candidates for their openings.
As the Borderplex Hype Team, we serve thousands of job seekers here at WSB by sharpening skill sets, providing training for in-demand certs, and even paying for educational opportunities.
And then we play matchmaker, where we corral these leveled up leads to virtual or in-person job fairs that we ourselves organize or supply them to businesses needing workers.
That's right, and it gets better. We trust our investment in the workforce so much that we will even cover the cost of wage for work-based learning and on-the-job training opportunities. It's a win-win, if you ask me, for our job seekers and businesses needing that little boost.
If we help cover the costs for wages, that supports businesses in being able to pay a living wage, which is our ultimate goal for the Borderplex. So you can think of BSU as like a secret weapon for your HR department.
Who doesn't like a secret weapon? A Hail Mary. So yes, we're fully aware of the worker shortage situation, which has been really difficult for everyone. And that's why BSU brings it full force when it comes to supporting our largest customers. Sticking to business, we sent Bianca over to Aztec Contractors, where WSB is fusing the next force to help with the future of the workforce.
Thank you so much, Cando. So today the crew landed at Aztec Contractors. I'm here with Alma, and we're going to be talking to Frank Spencer, President, and Jose Carlos and Edlin. So Alma, before we actually get started and speaking with our guests, can you tell us a little bit about how Workforce actually got involved with Aztec?
So as you know, Bianca, and for many of our viewers, our purpose is to help employers and help them through developing their workforce. One of the things that happened was Frank was trying to recruit. He came to us and told us a little bit about some of the things that were going on. What they realized was they really wanted an internship program. Some of the feedback that he had gotten through his recruiting efforts were, sure, they're interested, but do you have an internship? His team developed an actual internship program. Cool. And so we met with him, and that's how we got started.
You know, just to piggyback off of what Alma was talking about, you know, about 4 years ago, we made a conscious decision that we needed to train from within because we could not find the local talent. And when we were doing these career fairs was the amount of students that wanted work experience, they wanted interns, they didn't want a job. We met with our executive team and we said, look, we need to come up with a robust internship program because it's the feedback that we're getting all across the country is internships, internships, internships. These students are wanting to get an opportunity to get a feel for the work that they're interested in doing. It's been a great program. Seeing these young students come in with a bunch of energy, wanting to get some real life experience, I think has been beneficial, not just for them, but for us as well, because today we're going to share 2 stories of individuals that came into this internship program and then now are looking at permanent employment.
So tell me a little bit about what that's been like. What's a day in the life of Jose Carlos on the job?
Every day it's learning something new, and being a student, a working student, you get to learn not only in school, but then you implement some of the things that you learn in school to the field in the real world. I'm a project engineer intern, and some of our responsibilities will also include, we coordinate with subcontractors. We take care of all the technical disciplines required for a project to prosper. I've always liked construction, but until I started working here, I think I got the construction bite. So what that is, an industry.
We need to coin that.
Yeah, so the construction bite means that you're gonna be doing this for a long time. You find a passion in what you're doing, and it's something that you just really want to get better at, keep growing and learning.
When I started here at Aztec, even though I was just an intern, they gave me very heavy responsibilities. Like I was able to fully brand their sister company Aztec Masonry and Concrete. I was also tasked with writing and producing all the content for social media. And so because of that, I get to travel to different job sites. See, the difference between Jose Carlos and me is I get to go to different job sites where he stays in one. And so I get to uncover all these stories from decades of experience, and I learn all these nuggets of wisdom from people I've never met before. And it's not just about construction, but also about their life. And it was a very wholesome internship. After 2 seasons of my internship, they eventually extended me a full-time offer. And so I'm now a content and brand specialist for them. And as at the time that we're filming this, I just graduated yesterday. And
Congrats.
something that I feel like is worth sharing though is that when I did the internship open house, the very first internship open house with Aztec, I was the only one who was representing the liberal arts. I was in a room full of engineers and I didn't know what I was doing.
Get it, girl.
But that meant I had no competition. But something that I do want to point out is that in the construction industry, it's a very interesting industry, and it's also very meaningful. You're not just part of a product, but you're part of the city itself.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, you know, one of the reasons that we support these interns and we do that is because twofold. Yes, we're helping the employers, but also one of the things that we've come across time and time again, especially in our region, is primarily most of our college students are working college students. They're just not working necessarily in their own field of study. And that down the line, even upon graduation, that lack of experience, even though they might have experience in, let's just say, retail or, you know, and work experience is work experience, but it makes a difference when it's related to your own field of study.
As a small business owner, we don't have a lot of resources, right? We don't have deep pockets to pull from. And so again, collaborating with our partners here, you know, they were able to assist us with that. And so it's a win-win for small businesses that can tap into those resources, but also be able to provide them financial reward for the work that they're doing.
What we do is we subsidize wages and we cover the costs of what this job's going to be or this internship's going to be as Workforce Solutions. So essentially we're that extension of an HR department and payroll on top of it.
Well, I mean, one of the greatest benefits that you get from working in the industry is you get so much value added onto your portfolio in a matter of 4 months, 5 months, right? So as an individual, right, you become a lot more competitive than to all your other colleagues at school.
There's a lot of value that this internship program has brought to our organization. But the biggest thing for me, as you know, being here local, have been on the board for over 6 years now, and I chair it, is the fact that I didn't know that these services existed. So the simple fact of spreading that message throughout our community is important, especially to our local businesses that, again, our small businesses that, again, might not have the resources to be able to do these types of things. How do we educate our businesses in El Paso to partake in this? Because for us, the biggest takeaway is that we always have great local talent leave El Paso to go to these cities like San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston. Some of them go out of Texas, right? And so there's no need. There's great companies here locally that can offer our interns, our students, great work, good pay, and good benefits. And look at all the things that we've done downtown, all the revitalization. There's so many outlets for these younger generations to stay here. And so I think that that's the other biggest message is we need to get other businesses to partake in this type of program so that we can retain local talent.
I think there's a lot of peer pressure on us to get things figured out while we're still in college. But the whole point of an internship is that you don't know what you want, so go try it out. And so that would be my biggest advice. Like, it's okay, you don't have to have everything figured out right here and right now. Just go try it, just do it, just do it. Just take the leap of faith. If you don't like it, then you don't like it.
Yeah, awesome. So, believe in yourself, put yourself out there, sometimes when you come in to work on certain industries and you get to meet professional people who are older than you, but people usually understand that that you're a young professional, and since you're young, people will help you. That's what I've been noticing. So everybody's super open to helping and teaching you, and it's super beneficial to everybody, right?
Well, that's the full conversation. Aztec, WSB, and our lovely Next Force. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will continue this conversation. I feel like it doesn't end here.
Absolutely.
Right?
We want you to listen to the full conversation in the Workforce Situation Room podcast. Catch it along with all the other podcasts you're probably listening to now on all streaming platforms.
There's no business without your business. If you're an employer, we have a special team at WSB here to match your big energy and help level up your business and your own team. They can help you tap into untapped talent with outplacement support, invitations to our job fairs, connect you with training opportunities for your team, and more. Don't wait. Contact us today.
I'm here alone again while Bianca is out in the field, but she's running lots of plays, and this time she sits down to talk with one of our latest customers, Bitwise Industries. Listen in to hear what they have to say in our podcast room at headquarters.
Well, we've got quite the crowd here for our 9th episode of Workforce Situation Room, which we're doing in partnership with our Off the Clock episode 3. And here's what we have today. Sergio is one of our participants from our youth program with IT. We have Odette, our youth program coordinator, Lily, VP of Bitwise, and you all recognize Alma and Layla, and I'm Bianca, your host. And I want to talk a little bit about Bitwise today. They're a company that's just moved into the region. And Lily, if you can tell us a little bit about what you've been experiencing, how long you've been here, and kind of what that's been like.
So Bitwise started here. We did our official launch in March. Since then, we really kind of have been taken on a whirlwind and really trying to build name ID within the community. Bitwise is a for-profit company, but mission-driven with social impact at its forefront. So what we like to do is like to go into underrepresented, underestimated cities and really bring up the workforce that has often been overlooked and upskill them in tech or tech-adjacent jobs.
What was it about El Paso that attracted Bitwise over?
It's a microcosm of what the rest of the United States is going to look like. We do vet our cities thoroughly. We look for places that our model would have an impact. We also look at cities that have a large minority base or underrepresented communities, whether it be a large base of women that are unemployed, LGBTQ+, foster, formerly incarcerated. Those are the cities that we look at. We also look at to see if there's really buy-in from the rest of the community.
I know you've been working with Odette a little bit. Odette, what's that been like, working with Lily, working with Bitwise, and what's that experience been like?
So we want to offer this opportunity for youth in our area, and all youth, but in particular our opportunity youth. We started our first outreach was through with foster youth, and so we want to continue offering it to all the youth in our area. Bitwise is giving them the opportunity where they may not have the opportunity to pay for college or for a more expensive training.
When you think about the youth, one of their strongest skill set is tech enablement, right? And that is, when you're looking at businesses that don't necessarily have that, it's like problem-solving problem.
Is just that combination of both. Tell us a little bit about your experience with both programs. I mean, working with us as a program participant and with Bitwise.
My journey with WSB has been very interesting and very fast-paced. My generation is we don't know what we want. Right? We don't know what we're doing. And I saw a lot of that in the kids that I spoke to. Eventually I got approached by Alma and the previous manager, and they asked me if I wanted to do the tech industry. They were going to give me the training, and it was going to be paid for, thankfully, and it's been a really great learning experience with Bitwise alone. Through DTS, it's been a whole other ballgame. I didn't know anything about the daycare industry, so I kind of went in blind, but it was tech, so I had that to kind of back me up, and cool. I've learned so much in the past couple of months, just going with my clients. I know that COVID hit everybody hard, especially the childcare industry. How can we help? How can we provide the means to for your business to keep going, at the same time to transition into a more technological space? So I've had the very blessed opportunity to not only learn the tech field for my own sake, but to be able to help others and in a way give back to my community, because I'm Hispanic, my parents are immigrants. I was, first generation born here, so it's like I see it in two ways: giving back to my community and also like kind of giving back to my roots. And at the same time, I benefit from it because I'm learning more and I'm getting more involved into the tech industry.
It's really important for us as a workforce board to understand the complete needs of those assets, of our population, of our people, understand them, not just from a count and a data perspective, but really understanding their needs, their wants, and what they are missing. And then we can then match their desires and purpose with necessity. And so as those things start to happen, we can say we have a need here in one industry, that's childcare, and these are business owners that have owned these businesses for a long time, that have been ignored, for lack of a better phrase, that may or may not have tech ability. And we've got a population that just naturally has that. And as they're helping, they are also getting this perspective of early education. We are coming up with solutions that make sense for the Borderplex region. It may or may not work, and it may not be something that you can copy and paste in another community, but that's what makes it valuable and important for this region, is we're doing it for us, and because this is what we need and what we want. And I don't know the long-term outcome. I just know that an outcome is possible, and some of those, lessons learned or mistakes that we make is where improvement happens. So I think that that's something that I've also seen from all of these programs, from DTS, from the childcare industry. All of these things are lessons learned in every single one of those, and you end up with a really, couple years later, some really fantastic changes.
Well, this was a great conversation. I feel like it's not going to be the last, especially after we do more cohorts with you all. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Sergio, for your perspective.
Thank you
It's
for the
great.
invite.
We'll have to bring you back. Good
you.
luck with everything.
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
much.
You know where to find the Workforce Situation Room podcast. Keep listening in. When we come back, Bianca and Sergio sit down with us and give us a little more insight into the heart and soul that is the Next Force.
Mom, Dad, we know you need more than a village. You need a childcare champ. See how WSB can help your family today. Contact us at 915-887-CARE.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got Bianca and Sergio now joining me back in the studio, so I'm not so lonely.
Hey, did we tell your boss that I was taking you out?
Well, thank you for having me, but this still feels like I'm working.
It's because Chuck's not here today. He's out doing some job interviews. But anyway, we brought you here because, well, Sergio, we wanted to give you the spotlight.
So I wanted to give our viewers a little more insight as to how Sergio is contributing to our customers, particularly childcare centers, and how you're integrating tech into business services.
But you've had some Bitwise training, and you told us just like surface level of the amazing work you're doing. Let's take a deeper dive. Tell me a little bit more about exactly what you do as a digital specialist.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, there's a bigger scope of what we do besides just the consultations. I mean, we have LinkedIn Learning trainings that we do with our clients, so they can get a little bit more training on there. And we also do very light like IT work. So if like they need help with a social media website that they already have running, or maybe an actual like website, those are the other things that we do.
Have you noticed, just from the day one that you go into the next, when you go in after you've integrated some of these advancements, what are you seeing with the actual operation, with the business?
Well, one of two things. The first one is the excitement on our clients' faces. I mean, a lot of the equipment that they need, they're not able to afford it because it's so expensive, and it's hard times for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So they're really happy that we can provide them with this equipment. And the second part is just them being able to utilize what we give them, and it takes a stress off of their shoulders.
We've mentioned it before, we're proud moms, and to see that the childcare industry is getting this boost that it needs, it's so important to us and essential, because we cannot progress as a workforce or even as an economy if our childcare system is not being treated as a necessity, because it is.
Exactly. Just like our community needs utilities like water, electricity, gas, childcare is just as crucial for our workforce to thrive. And I want to thank Sergio for joining us and being in the Next Force and making this happen. Thank you so much for joining us off the clock.
Till next time.
So, Mr. DeBroder, you listed Pay Dirt Pete under your references.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, we go back, way back.
Well, you also listed Chico.
From the tacos?
No, from the Chihuahuas.
Oh, of course, another homie. Yeah, we used to freestyle cipher at the downtown First Fridays.
Well, we're really looking for someone that can forecast our economy and labor market.
Well, in my past job, sometimes I had to rely on my psychic abilities to predict the weather. I became so good that people believe I can actually make it rain on command.
Well, amigo, there's many storms we can't predict. How can you help us?
I'm right as rain for this drought, Chewy. Ask anyone.
Well, if you ask me, I like your attire, I like your attitude. Chuck DeBroder, I want to brainstorm with you. Welcome to Workforce.
Does this mean we just became best friends?
Yes, we did.